The summer of '95 was supposed to be easy money. I was 17, babysitting the Thompson kids while their parents celebrated their anniversary at some fancy downtown restaurant. The house was huge. The main floor was gigantic, with the basement being equally as big. Around 11 p.m., after putting the kids to bed, I went down to the basement. I turned on the TV and started flipping through channels. That's when the phone rang. There wasn't caller ID at the time, so I had no idea who was calling. I thought it might be the Thompsons calling for some reason. "You're alone now, aren't you?" A man's voice, low and raspy. He sounded like he smoked a pack of cigarettes a day. "Who is this?" I asked, thinking it was Jake, my best friend prank calling me. Jake always prank called me, but never while I was babysitting. "Turn off the TV. I want to hear you breathe," he demanded. "Jake, you're going to have to try harder than just a measly prank call," I said, while chuckling to myself. "Wrong move," he said before hanging up. Roughly 10 minutes later, I heard a thud from upstairs, the kids' room. I went to check on the noise, expecting one of the kids to be out of bed, but the hallway was empty. The window in Emily's room was wide open, curtains fluttering in the breeze. On the floor, right beneath the window, were muddy boot prints in the carpet. It also faintly smelled like cigarette smoke. My stomach dropped. I now doubted it was Jake on the phone trying to prank call me. I looked out the window that was open and found cigarette butts on the ground just outside the window. I immediately called the police. They checked the house and neighborhood, but found nothing. When they traced the calls, they came from the payphone at the gas station down the street. I never babysat again. The pandemic turned our quiet suburban neighborhood into something out of a dystopian movie. By March 2020, the streets were empty, grocery stores were picked clean, and my husband David was pulling double shifts at the hospital. I was a graphic designer, suddenly working from home indefinitely in our 2-story colonial that now felt way too big for just me. We'd bought the house the year before, a starter home we joked we'd grow out of. It had all the usual suburban quirks: creaky hardwood floors, an attic we never used, and an old detached garage at the end of the driveway that David kept saying he'd convert into a workshop. The garage door opener was original to the house, a clunky genie from the early 2000s that groaned every time it moved. The first time it happened, I was binge-watching Tiger King at 1 a.m., unable to sleep. A loud metallic clank made me jump, the distinct sound of our garage door rolling up. Through the kitchen window, I saw the light above the garage door glowing yellow against the darkness. I grabbed the baseball bat we kept by the door, a housewarming gift from my paranoid brother, and peered out the kitchen window again. The garage door was fully open. I could only see David's messy workbench and our unused treadmill on the left wall of the garage. I watched for what felt like forever, but I didn't see anything. The garage light finally turned off after its 5-minute timer. I closed the garage with the spare garage door opener we left in the junk drawer. Then it had happened again 3 nights later. This time, I was in bed reading when I heard the telltale rumble. The baby monitor we'd repurposed as a garage camera, a paranoid purchase after the first incident, showed the door lifting steadily. No headlights in the driveway, no motion on the sidewalk. Just the door rolling up on its own at 12:37 a.m. The baby monitor didn't work all the time, as it was too far away from the home Wi-Fi to get a good signal. I went to the kitchen window again and waited. Nothing. The garage light turned off again after its 5 minutes, and I again closed the garage door with the spare remote we had. After the second incident, I purchased one of those Ring cameras. We installed it so we could see more into the garage from the house. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. Then, on April 3rd, the motion-activated floodlight by the camera came on at 3:18 a.m. I watched the live feed on my phone in bed. At first, nothing. Then the garage light turned off again after 5 minutes, as well as the motion-activated floodlight. I didn't close the garage this time. The new Ring camera we installed had night vision. I sat there watching the video feed. Then, the garage door closed. I was confused. The spare remote was in the junk drawer in the kitchen. I continued watching the door slowly close. Then I saw it. Just as the door was about to close all the way, I saw a pair of feet walking in the garage. Then the door fully closed. I called 911 so fast I dropped the phone. The operator kept asking questions as I locked the bedroom door, but I hardly remember the conversation. Once I got off the phone with the operator, I called David to let him know what was happening. He immediately left work to come home. The police got there within 10 minutes. I let them in and showed them the garage through the kitchen window. They said they would check the garage and to open the garage door when they gave me a thumbs up. After one of the officers gave me the thumbs up, I opened the garage. I could see the officers bending down to look in the garage as it was still opening. When the garage was halfway up, the officers grabbed for their tasers and began shouting into the garage. I watched in pure terror as the officers entered the garage. A minute or two went by, then my body went numb. The two officers walked out of the garage with a man in handcuffs. The two cops spoke with the man as he was sitting in the back of the cop car. After about 5 minutes, one of the officers came to speak to me. He told me they were going to take the man away for trespassing. Then he told me something that made my heart drop. On his phone, they found photos and videos of me that were taken through my bedroom window while I was sleeping. I filed a restraining order against the man and got more security measures for my home. My husband doesn't work nights anymore, so I am only home by myself during the day. But sometimes, I still wake up in the middle of the night, convinced I hear the rumble of a garage door opening. This story is based on true events from my teenage years. While some details have been changed for privacy, the terror of that night remains all too real. It was August 2013. I was 16 years old, sprawled across my living room couch with a cold slice of pizza in one hand and my iPhone in the other. My parents were away for the weekend, my first time ever being home alone overnight. I had The Conjuring playing on the TV, the glow of the screen illuminating the otherwise dark house. Out of nowhere, loud knocking came from my front door. The sound cut through the movie's tension like a knife. I remember muttering, "What the hell?" as I paused the film. The knocking came again, harder this time. I instantly had butterflies in my stomach, like that feeling you get before getting on a roller coaster at an amusement park. "Hello? Anybody home?" The voice whispered loudly on the other side of the front door. The voice didn't sound familiar to me at all. I immediately knew it was a stranger. I crept to the front window and peeled back the blinds while turning on the porch light. I saw a tall figure standing on my porch. He wore a black hoodie despite the summer heat, his face shadowed by the dim porch light. But what really stuck with me were his movements. He seemed nervous or anxious. He wouldn't stop moving, just fidgeting around while waiting at the door. I approached the door, leaving the chain lock securely in place as I cracked it open. Yeah, what do you want?" I asked nervously. The man's eyes darted past me into the house before he answered. "Hey, kid. My phone died. Car broke down up the road. Just need to use yours for a sec. Something felt immediately wrong. There was no please, no sorry to bother you. And why come to my house? The neighbors had their porch light on. My fingers found my phone in my pocket. I can call someone for you, I offered, already pulling up the keypad. His expression darkened. Just open the damn door, he demanded through clenched teeth. Then he slammed his full weight against it. I'll never forget the sound of the wood groaning, the chain lock rattling violently as it held. Through the gap, I saw the orange fabric peeking out from under his hoodie sleeve, the raw red ring around his wrist where handcuffs had clearly been. My fingers flew across my phone screen as I called 911. Someone's trying to break in, I shouted to the operator, my voice cracking. I think he's an escaped prisoner or something. The man's bloodshot eye appeared in the doorway crack. You're dead, kid, he snarled. Then the distant wail of police sirens cut through the night. I watched through the window as the man bolted from my porch and disappeared into the darkness. The cops would later find a makeshift shiv in our bushes and confirm an inmate had escaped from a transport van after stabbing a guard. Luckily, the police found the man later that night, hiding in one of my neighbor's sheds. For weeks after, my friends called me a badass. The local news did a short segment about it. But what keeps me up at night isn't what happened. It's what almost did. If the chain on the door broke, or if it wasn't set at all, who knows what would have happened? I don't open the door for anybody I don't know. And when there is a knock on my door late at night, I still get that same feeling in my stomach.
I see you say.